Okay, we have a Nintendo Switch. I think you will find that it's fairly obvious what's going on with this one. Look at that prettiness. Yeah. Let's get some more light on that one. Isn't that pretty? Very possible we had collateral damage on this one, so we have to take it apart, remove the port, and see what else we may have lost thanks to those. Okay, we have pulled the switch out of the housing. We'll note there's one more issue. We have a destroyed connector here. It was like this, I did not do it. I did snap a picture of it before I proceeded further. So we're probably going to have to replace that too. Right now, well, I do want to make sure that there are no pins touching, and there are. That will affect. Alright. Okay, so I don't think those are shortened together anymore. That would affect measurements as well. I just want to kind of take a quick visual and make sure there's nothing else. Somebody's clearly been dorking around in here. Okay, let's take a look at the other side. Make sure they didn't dork anything else. Okay, I don't see anything jumping out at me here. Alright, so we're going to do our normal routine. I'm going to go over why I use low melt solder again, because there are those who do love to diss those of us who use low melt solder. But the reason why, and I don't use low melt solder on everything, but I do use it on this port. And my explanation to why I use it on this port is when the hidden row of pins is ready to come off the board, I don't want to have to be worrying about this anchor point, this anchor point, this anchor point, this anchor point, or these pins. All of these will be ready to go when those are ready to go. The only thing I have to worry about is those. So that's why I use the low melt. That's why I'm going to continue using the low melt. Repair is not a one-way thing. So find what works for you and use that way. Lots of people can do it without. Lots of people do it with. If it works for you, do it that way. Alright, let's measure. Let's make sure we're connected. Kind of bummed about the welder misbehaving. Alright. Check P13 USB. Okay, seems okay. Alright, everything around M9 seems okay, N92. So, that's good. They may have gotten lucky there. Okay. You should be getting some there. There we go. Alright. Let's go check our P13 USB. Did these people get lucky? I'm really surprised they did, with the Joy-Con connector being like that too. Oop. We appear to be short on P13 USB. Okay. By all indications, yep, should not be short on that side. So, wonder why it didn't show on the other on the M92. Usually would over here. I'll measure again just to make sure. Kind of weird that it's not. Yeah, it's not showing over here. Kind of different. Alright. Well, we'll pull that too then. And make sure that short is relieved, because if it is not relieved, there's not much point in continuing our work. Alright, measure again. This time we'll use the big ground pad in the middle. Alright, appears to have relieved our short. Very good. That is good news. So we'll grab a new one, throw it on there, and make sure the short does not come back. Man, I haven't done one of these in a while. looks good. Let's do a quick test on it again. Much as I'd like to show solder porn, the important part is to make sure we don't have a new short. Okay, we appear to be good. Alright, that problem is solved. Alright. Don't think I have. Let me look at the connector on my donor and see if it's reasonably salvageable. Yeah, it's not pretty, but at least it's in one piece, whereas theirs is not even that. So don't think it's, is it the same as this other one? I think the other one's just as dork too, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, the other one's just as dork too. This is my, you can screw up on this board, don't screw up on somebody else's. All right. I mean, technically, we could redo that one as long as you get the ribbon in there right, but that's not good at all. So, all right, we'll put the ugly one on, I guess. Somehow I'm going to have to mount this so that I can do so. I think heating from below is going to be the best bet with that. We do not want to fry our other connector there. I don't want to be replacing two. Okay, let's try this again. I made some adjustments to the hot air station, so hopefully we can at least get this stupid connector off. You know what? I should really be testing this on the donor. Let's do that instead. Let's test this on the donor. Just to make sure we damage nothing. And we can calibrate our heat all we want on the donor. I've left the screws out of the hot air machine so that I can mess with it. Well, let's approach this with some intelligence. Okay, I think we can start working on the port. I'm still going to be using the Atom when it gets here, but good to know that that worked. Probably would have bought me another few months anyway, or maybe, I don't know. Depends on how quick it wants to fail here. But everybody talks up the Atom, so we'll find out how good it is. Okay, I think we're about ready to perform a test. About as ready as I can be. It's off somewhere for now. Alright. Let's push this a little more into the board holder. Turn on. That looks about normal. And look, that looks about normal. So, okay. I'm hopeful. That is not the end-all be-all, but I'm hopeful. However, I'm going to take a break and probably crack open a beer, and then I'll come back and put it back in the housing and go from there. Okay, I think we're ready to perform a function test with a known good battery. Just see what happens. I kind of want to make sure I'm in view for you guys. Okay, got full battery symbol. That's good. And it booted up. And we have touch. Beautiful. Okay, so beautiful. It's working. We're not going to know how we did on the Joy-Con connector until I get it fully assembled. And we're probably I'm just going to charge their battery and then we'll see how we're doing. Okay. Okay, so a little update. I forgot in the last picture to show it charging on both sides. It is charging on both sides. I'm using the OEM charger at the moment. I guess I could do it with the PSU. Do a quick switcheroonie. But I am going to let it charge for a while on the OEM. Okay, so we're fast charging at 1.43 on that side. And 1.43 on that side. So we are fast charging. The next thing will be let it charge for a little while, and then I'm going to throw my my personal Joy-Cons on it, make sure those are charging, because we have the issue with that Joy-Con connector. And then we'll also do a dock test. So unfortunately, we're only getting one Joy-Con, so I may end up having to redo that connector. I would have to order in those connectors, so I'll have to check with the client on that. We'll check and make sure we're getting dock sync and all that next, but yeah, we may have to come back and do part 2 of this. Okay, as you can see, we have dock, so the port replacement went well. P13 USB went well because that controls this. And so the only thing we really have a concern about is the Joy-Con connector, which was dorked to begin with, and apparently, I mean, I can try and open it up and see if I can clean it out a little bit more. I don't have much optimism that it's going to work out. I will contact one of my sources and see if they have a connector, and if they do, then we may have a part 2. But I have to check with the client anyway first. Right. Okay, I'm not entirely convinced it's the connector. Looks pretty good, but I'm going to check everything and clean it out a little bit more. Where is my error thing at? Where it isn't supposed to be. Very helpful over there. Joy-Con cable is all up in my way. Yeah, everything looks okay connector wise, so I'm not entirely certain that's the connector. See if I can get it in view for you. Yeah, everything looks okay. It's a little gunked up and a little singed. I'm not entirely certain that it's the connector that's the problem. It could be the rail. It is finally it's well soldered on there. Everything should be making contact. Yeah, that looks good to me. So I don't think it's our connector. It could very well be our Joy-Con. That could be why they screwed up the connector, thinking it was the connector to begin with. Now, this connector is not pretty, but it doesn't have to be pretty to be functional. Let me take a look at their Joy-Con cable. I've actually never looked at that. Power up. And we'll grab the Joy-Con again. We'll just grab this one for now. Let's see. Oh, it's recognizing it now. Super. Let me see if it'll recognize both. Beautiful. Okay, it's seeing both now. Let me pull it up on here. It'll be easier to see. Yep. See if I can do this without the glare. Ugh. Yep. Figure out your orientation then. See? It's seeing both of them now. So, apparently we just didn't have it in there well enough. It wasn't cleaned out enough. So, alright. We should be good to go on this guy. Awesome. I'm pretty happy about that. Alright, we had... so what do we have in this one? We had the port. We had P13 USB, and we had the Joy-Con connector. It's not a pretty Joy-Con connector. I'll have to check it. Like I said, I'll check with my source and see if he has some. That's the first Joy-Con connector I've ever had to replace, though, so it's not a thing of major need. but I'll check anyway. If you have any question about the equipment I have, check down in the description. And thank you for watching. See you next time.